What's up, everybody? Back here with another video for you. Sorry I missed Tuesday. I just got way too busy at work, and I really just didn't have any time to film a video by the time, Tuesday was up and over, so I figured it'll be all right. I got the next part of my collection video here. This is more of the traditional and raw black metal section. It's a lot of standard issue stuff, nothing too crazy, some stuff that I don't really listen to anymore but still have. Let's cut on into it. We're listening to this random record, WFO by Overkill. This is a record from 1994, and it's okay. It's not the greatest thing Overkill ever did by any means, but it's not bad. Bobby Blitz does some clean singing as well, which I guess it's the 90s, so it kind of makes sense. But this is like, it sounds quite a bit like the singer from Pagan Altar on here, which is kind of weird, but it's mostly Bobby Blitz's regular vocals. So I really haven't listened to it. I've had it for, I don't know, a while now, and I just never kind of like, I never put it on the player. I picked it up at garage sale. All right, let's get down to business. First thing I got here is Armored to Steel Hell by Enthroned. Obviously, Enthroned is a Belgium black metal band. Super blasty, super fast, kind of bordering on the Bastille side of black metal. Not something I play very often anymore, but I did see Sabathon or whatever live at Metal Threat Fest, and that was pretty entertaining, but I don't know. I've kind of worn myself out on the super fast, blasty black metal, but Enthroned. This is a little bit more of the speed when I want some straight up black metal. This is Faceless Entity with, I don't know how to pronounce this, but this is their debut full-length album. They put out demos and stuff before this, but this is their first full-length, and it is awesome. This band is absolute nightmare fuel. Their style is just so densely hazy and just gritty, but without having the kind of hellish atmosphere some of this really raw black metal has. There's just a gray ancient somberness to this. It's really interesting, and it's not the most particularly special musically. I mean, you've heard albums that sound like this, but sonically, just the way everything goes together it's very one of a kind. I don't know. But Faceless Entity is really cool. Their kind of visuals that they do are pretty nuts. Sorry about the glare. There we are. My shelf is right next to the windows, so kind of stuck with it. All right, next, Gorgoroth, Under the Sign of Hell, 2011 re-recording, out on Soul Cellar Records. This is the only Gorgoroth I own, because it's really the only Gorgoroth I really care much about. This is a nasty one, but my favorite Gorgoroth song is Profundus Append something, whatever. Whatever that song, you guys know what I'm talking about. That's my favorite Gorgoroth song. I don't really listen to much of this band though. All right, next is my buddy's band that I played live bass in for a couple of shows. This is Goat Whisperer with Hell's Override and Euphorian Suicide. Just some kind of nasty, punky, raw black metal with a broken case. The tunes are really cool. My buddies wrote some really cool riffs on here. I really like this sheep photo on the front. It's kind of kooky, and I like that about it, especially because, like, I know the backstory behind it. It's really, really fun, kind of dark, throny, punky black metal. Next, this is Grov with Mental Illuvilia or something like that. I don't really know. This is, I think, a demo that this band put out. Grov is a Swedish black metal band, if you guys aren't familiar with them, and it's really weird. It's kind of uncomfortable sounding, and it sounds like surf rock with black metal parts. It's a thing, dude. It's definitely a weird thing, but it's a cool band. I haven't spent enough time with it to really say too much about it, but it's an interesting textural thing. All right, next, something I used to listen to quite a bit of. This is Hamoth with however you say their album title. This is a French black metal band. I don't know, I got this pretty cheap some years ago. It's on Deborah Morty, however you say that place. It's just old school French black metal with some melodicism to it. Riffy, all that kind of stuff. Comes with a little poster. Just yeah, straight up French black metal. Nothing too special. Alright, this is cool. This is Hortor with, I don't know what the, oh, this is a combination of two of their albums. They are a Mexican black metal band. Oh, this is Decapitación Absoluta El Falso Profetia, which is the decapitation of the false prophet, and ancient satanic rituals are crushed in dust. Yeah, so Christian black metal band, and it's really, really good. I like this a lot. This band still kind of reminds me of the early Graveland a little bit, without some of the noticeable Eastern European flavors. It just kind of feels like that, if you get what I mean. It's really good stuff. If you guys haven't listened to Hortor, definitely do so. I have a good handful of their albums. I have most of them, actually. So, and this is Hortor's album. I don't know, it's not listed anywhere in here, but this is just like a little slipcase version of this. I think he just threw this in when I placed an order from their online page, and I've maybe listened to it once or twice. But yeah, cool album cover with the cherubim and all that kind of stuff, and the angels. Just a really good Mexican black metal. All right, we have every album except the newest one from Immortal. So Diabolical Full Moon Mysticism, amazing old school black metal that I don't think can be argued with whatsoever. Pure Holocaust, which for a long time was my favorite Immortal album. It's probably number 2 or 3 at this point, but The Sun No Longer Rises is a song that got me into Immortal, seeing the live videos in Wacken. Then Battles in the North, really great record. I mean, what's not to love about this classic gem in black metal history? Lizard Beasts. You know, of the earliest ones, I've spent the least amount of time with this one, but it's still pretty good. I mean, it feels like a pretty much continuation of Battles in the North. Maybe a little different. This is my favorite Immortal album, which is At the Heart of Winter. I love the thrashy melodicism all over this album. It's just so good, which is apparently a pretty unpopular opinion, but I just adore it, man. I love this band. Damned in Black with the alternate cover, which is a bit oddly amorphous looking. Not like the band Amorphous, but like the actual definition of the word. Just it's kind of uninspired Immortal. I mean, it's not bad, it's just not as good as they once were. This is a great one as well. This is Sons of Northern Darkness, which some people also hate. Like people hate the song Tyrants, which is one of the earliest ones that I ever heard from this band. But the song One by One, or In My Kingdom Cold, really great. The title track is just awesome. Beyond the North Waves, Antarctica, just such good, blistering fast, ice cold black metal. All Shall Fall with the sticker cover, because there was no logo or album title, so I don't really know why that happened. This is actually a pretty good album. This wasn't a bad note to end on in their original rendition. Just decent stuff. And last from Immortal is Northern Chaos Gods. I will pick up the new one, I just haven't. I'm pretty much waiting to just run into it at a record store, which I'm going record shopping this week, so I'm sure I will run into it at some point. But Northern Chaos Gods, really good. Demonos on the vocals, just, you know, great stuff. Alright, couple really dynamite releases right here. This is Winterskog by Isengard. Demo compilation of the demo Spectres over Gorgoroth in 89, and Chapter 3 Horizons, and Chapter 1 Vendaren. I don't know, I don't speak anything Norse. Sorry about that, my phone started falling. But yeah, this is a good demo compilation from Isengard. Obviously, Fenrir's solo project from Darkthrone, kind of early folk metal, Viking metal, whatever you want to call it, black metal, somewhere in between those. Maybe the occasional thrash riff here and there, which, you know, those guys are disciples of metal. You know, like they know their stuff, they know what they're doing, and I think that's why I like them so much. Isengard. And one of my favorite black metal albums of all time, Hostmork. Dynamite, absolute dynamite, black metal, folk metal, Viking metal. Also comes with Defender's Commentary, which I'm a big fan of. But just, you know, nasty at parts, but a lot of really epic, cool parts. All right, you guys have heard me talk about this before. This is the Ives split with Amort. This is a kind of, so Ives is a blackened punk band, excuse me, and Amort is a funeral doom band. They're both from America, and I've explained this a couple of times, but it's like a concept about this woman who was found in an apartment, just kind of like borderline feral and emaciated. It's a weird texture between funeral doom and blackened punk, but it's cool. Next, Judas Iscariot with Thy Dying Light, American classic black metal. Not something I listen very much of anymore though, but it is a classic nonetheless. Distant Solitary Night, more ambient tinged, at least on the tail end, like Portions of Eternity to Great the Eye of Man. It's like a big ambient piece at the end of this record. You know, you guys heard this band. Next, Cold with the album Phantom. If you guys aren't familiar with Cold, it's a Norwegian black metal band with possibly the worst logo of all time. But this is basically what Tullus turned into. A couple of the members from Tullus came out and formed this band. Also some of the worst corpse paint in human history. But it's pretty good black metal, kind of groovy, a little melodic here and there. Good stuff. Next is something I blind bought when I saw Archgoat, because one of the guys there had a distro. This is Crypthal with Intolerance and Hate. When I was like 16, I made a really cringy video saying the rawest black metal ever recorded to try to be all clickbaity. And dude, I got so many people livid with that video, and it's pretty funny. But yeah, so this is just really raw Mexican black metal. Picked this up randomly for like $8 or $10. It's, you know, obscure black metal. That sounds like obscure black metal. A little demo comp, I think. This is a killer. This is Kvist, with whatever the name of this album actually is. But this is just a absolutely top shelf Norwegian black metal band, kind of more of a mid-pace, not so aggressive, but still a really interesting album. You guys have probably heard this Kvist album by now. Alright, this is an Australian black metal band called Lament in Winter's Night with At the Gates of the Eternal Storm. I blind bought this off of Melanie Loves Death Metal, I think, off of the Born Dead collection site. It's okay. It sounds like Dark Adversary black metal with a little bit different of just an atmosphere to it, but it feels like Dark Adversary black metal. It looks like Dark Adversary black metal. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say besides it's mad. Next, Last Lightning, signed by the whole band. Their album Porten. So this is a Norwegian black metal band that has one of my buddies in it, Christoph, and a bunch of other dudes I don't particularly know, but very cool. Traditional black metal with some, I don't know, maybe a modern flair to it, if you will. But it's cool. I'm a sucker for signature, so having all four of a band from Norway is pretty cool to me. And here's two from this band. This is Skogen Caller, Manas Mord. This is pretty run-of-the-mill 1990s Norwegian black metal. This is out on blackmetal.com, so if you guys don't have this, feel free to go grab it. It's probably really cheap, but it is a Norwegian black metal album from the 90s that nobody talks about. It's kind of behemoth-y, kind of reminds me of that early Grom era, so if you like that, check this out. And here's another one, Obscura Symphonia. This is the one I think that got a little bit more sketch, because that did happen at some point in their career, but it's alright. I don't really like this album all that much anyway, so whatever. Mastborn. Next, Frontschwein by Marduk. This is the one and only Marduk album I actually care to own. because this is just not my style anymore. I just don't care. But this is a great album. It's really angry, it's really fast, and it's really aggressive. Very entertaining. The war themes fit well with this album, and Thousandfold Death is one of the coolest songs. Actually, that's my favorite song this band's ever put out. Yeah, not really my style of black metal, but nonetheless interesting to own, and if I'm gonna own one, it may as well be a really good one. Alright, we got a bunch by Mayhem. Death Crush. Nasty old school kind of proto-black style here. Live in Leipzig. This is probably maybe my favorite Mayhem material. This is definitely the one I'm the most nostalgic about. Just dead, screaming his head off. This one, Dawn of the Black Hearts. I got this off CDN Records, traded it to a buddy, and then got it back. It's just a bunch of stuff. I'm not gonna open it. De Mysterious. Everybody knows this record. I'm not spending a lot of time on it because there's no really need to. Yeah. A tribute to the Black Emperors, which is this one. So if you guys aren't familiar with this is a split compiled of the December Moon demo from Morbid, or December Moon EP, and the Freezing Moon EP from Mayhem, which is my favorite Mayhem material. It's the Freezing Moon EP entirely. It's just so good. It's so nice to hear Dead on a record. Just great stuff. And the Morbid EP is really cool as well, but songs like Disgusting Semla are kind of weird. But yeah, Morbid Mayhem. And then this is the Mayhem album that got me into Mayhem, which is Grand Declaration of War. Everybody hates this album. I don't. I don't like industrial either, so it makes it extra weird. But, you know, it's pretty entertaining. I thought it was terrifying sounding when I first heard it. I haven't listened to it in a while, but Mayhem. That was all the Mayhem. Then two from good old-fashioned Moonblood this is a Taster German Steel comp. And it also has Durchvorit or something like that tacked onto the back of it. I picked this up off Nuclear War Now. You'll probably recognize that cover as the one that you'll see on Nuclear War Now. Yeah, it's just Moonblood, doing Moonblood, man. And then Supreme Black Forces of German Steel, which is a Taste Our German Steel, and We Are at War, which now I just realized I have 2 copies of Taste Our German Steel. They're both not official, so it really doesn't matter, but whatever. So I'm gonna call it at that, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will be back next week with another one. Catch y'all later. Keep it easy.